Hi everyone, it's Jess, aka Colouring Bumblebee, and I'm back today with another video for you. Today I am sharing with you all of my completed pages for the month of February 2025. This was by no means my best colouring month at all. Even just the selection of books on top here, I didn't colour in very many books compared to what I usually do. I was in a bit of a colouring slump. Didn't colour for the first 2 weeks pretty much of February. Did a little bit on my birthday and Valentine's Day. And then I didn't colour again, and then I decided to pick up my colour by number books. And you'll see that I coloured a bunch of those this month, as that's what was bringing me joy. And sometimes that's what you need to do. You need to just do what brings you the most joy. And at that time, it wasn't colouring full pages. It was doing some colour by numbers. I was playing a lot of The Sims. But I did manage to get almost all of my project book pages completed for the month, and that's what I focused on. I managed to get one buddy colour and one long-term whip completed, and a few group buddy colours from the Mythical Minis book. So I will move these to the side and we'll look at my stats for the month. So here is my 2025 colouring journal, and opening up to my February stats page, I managed to colour 25 pages, which seems like a lot, but 15 of those were colour by numbers, so I only actually coloured 10 full colouring pages, and a few of them were simple Camila Angelcova ones. Didn't get any double page spreads done. Really need to get on top of that for March and start doing some, as it is a goal of mine to do one each month of the year, and I've done 0 so far. I completed one long-term whip. I did 6 individual buddy colours and 2 group buddy colours. Kind of 3 because one of them is kind of, I'll touch on it when I get to it later. I coloured in 11 different books. 3 of those were colour by numbers. I only managed to get 1 untouched book coloured, so I do need to focus more on that. So it means that I've got 66 untouched books remaining, which is 32.19% of my collection. I do think that number's moving in the wrong direction, unfortunately. Yeah, it was 30.65 last month, but I did purchase a few books for my birthday this month. And now that means that I have 205 books in my collection. I broke over 200. That is crazy, but I love all my colouring books, and if I didn't love them, I wouldn't buy them. That means I have coloured a total of 61 pages in 2025 so far. And I did start 4 whips, which I will show you at the start of this video, as I didn't have too many other pages coloured, so I thought I'd show you the whips as well. First up, I've got Kawaii Tarot colouring book. This is by Lulu Mayo, and I have been working through the major arcana cards in order. So I've done the Fool, the Magician, the High Priestess, the Empress, the Emperor, the Hierophant, the Lovers, and the one I started in February was the Chariot. Really love how this is turning out. I've used Tombow dual brush pens and Crayola super tips on this page. I hate this muted pink colour. In my swatch book it looked a lot lighter and brighter, but when I put it down it looks a lot more muted than I wanted it to. I wanted it to be a nice bright but light pink. So I will change that, or try to change that as best as I can when I shade with pencils over the top. I wasn't sure what colour to do this banner, so I thought I'd leave it towards the end. And the background I want to do some sort of dark navy blue for the sky, but not sure what medium I'm going to use for that yet. So I started that one. And I also started this one, 4 of Coins. This is a buddy colour with the Inky Adventurer on Instagram. And I picked out a colour palette. I chose 140. I knew I wanted to include reds and oranges for the mushrooms, and then I just kind of looked on the colour cubes from there and found this one, which I thought was quite different. The fact that it included this purple, this light pink and a yellow, and I think it will look really nice when it's all done. I've been using Arteza Expert pencils on this page so far, and I really enjoyed doing the background for this. It's been a while since I've done a nice blended gradient background, so that was a lot of fun. And yeah, just didn't get enough time to finish this, and I was prioritising my project books instead. That is Kawaii Tarot colouring book. Then I started the February Complete Mini Mania page, which I host on Instagram. And I picked this one for my birthday month. It was this strawberry cake page. And I started it. I knew I wanted some nice, bright, reddy pinks for the strawberries. I added a bit of green for the strawberry tops, a light brown colour, and then I got really stuck on what colour to do the cakes, whether I wanted it to look like it was icing and then sort of drippy icing on top, or just kind of plain cake. I think looking at it now, I want to make the cakes cake coloured and then have some nice light pink icing and make it a nice fun pinky page. I think that will work really well. So hopefully I'll get that finished in March, because the next page is this one. It's kind of miniature scenes of the flower shop. Really cute. So that's Gabby Wolf's Mini Mania. Then the last whip I have is RJ Hampson's Around the World. This is a project book with Catherine from Cath Colours Pages on Instagram. And I started the Orient Express page, and I've actually done a bit of this pencil shading just before this video as I was waiting for my phone to charge up a bit. But I'm hoping to get this finished today or tomorrow as I'm off work. And then we can move on to the next page, the Alpine Way. But this moves swiftly on to the first page I managed to complete for the month, and that was this one, Paris. I really enjoyed colouring this. I based it with alcohol markers, as you can see on the back there. And then I used Prismacolors to shade all over on top, and I added a bit of the Sakura Clear Glaze gel pen on the sign for Le Printemps, which is spring in French if you didn't know, on the sort of glass of the lanterns here and on the windows of here and on his glasses as well. And I really loved the fun bright pinks and greens colour palette. It was a nice change after all these kind of neutral tones from Charing Cross. I will move mine across and show you Catherine's here. She did a beautiful job and got hers done ages and ages ago, as I've been lagging behind, but I'm now caught up and we're now colouring at a similar pace, which is great. So thank you to Catherine for having this as a project book with me, RJ Hampson's Around the World. Next I've got 50 Mythical Miniatures by Camellia Angel Cova, and I've been colouring in this a lot thanks to Melissa at Winter89 Colours here on YouTube and Instagram, is hosting a full book cover along for this, with the hopes of finishing it by the end of 2025, called #Project Mythical Minis. But this is the page which I was saying at the start how could count for a group buddy colour but isn't, and it is Nekomata, the two-tailed cat, because this book is part of the group buddy colour for Project Mythical Minis, but this page wasn't picked for February. I've been wanting to colour this page for a while. Wanted to do it for February because I had this vision of this pink cat, all pinks basically, and it turned out just as I wanted it to. I used the Ohuhu alcohol markers for the whole page, and I added a bit of the Chromatech glitter gel pens on the lines of the flowers and on the cat's eyes and on its nose there. And I really enjoyed how that turned out. I coloured that on Valentine's Day. Then I've done a couple others in this book for the Project Mythical Minis. What was the next one I did? Here it is, the fairy. I really, really love how this turned out. I knew I wanted to go pastel tones, but I was a bit stuck on which colours to use for a while and decided to just wing it. As I often do with this book, I just start picking out some alcohol markers and colouring away. I used the Ohuhus on this page, the Opal Gansai Tambi watercolours, which are these beautiful iridescent colours that I used on the fairy's wings here. It's a kind of, I think I used the colour violet, which is like a yellow to purple shimmer. And I thought that was the perfect colour for this. You can kind of see the shine, but it's more shiny in person. I used the Chromatech glitter gel pens on the outlines for the wings, just to, because when you use watercolours it kind of obscures the lines a little bit, so I do that to just kind of neaten them up and for a sparkly fun touch. I added it in her hair, on her dress, on the snail, around on, no, not on the bees, on these all the yellow bits I added a bit of yellow glitter gel pen, and on the bees wings I used the Spectrum Noir clear glitter pen. So that was the next page I did from 50 Mythical Miniatures. Then I did one more page in this book for February, and again it was for the Project Mythical Minis tag, and it was the Aspidoculone. I did look up how to pronounce it, it's a tricky word. I did this on the last day of February, on the 28th. I used the Ohuhu alcohol markers and added a bit of the Chromatech glitter gel pen in the water. I often like doing that just on the lines that the artist provides and around the eyes. I also like doing that in this book. And then I added some of my Antec metallic watercolours for the spots on the turtle, and also I did it to outline the sort of brown lines on the turtle shell, which I thought looks really nice. I had a lot of fun sort of dotting to make this sort of nice hedge kind of effect, and dotting on the sandy island colour. And then I wasn't sure what to do for the background, and I was speaking to Zoe at Zoe's Cozy Colouring, and she suggested a sunset background. And I did think that, but I kind of didn't want to add any more colours. And then she suggested doing like a sun in the background, and I thought, yeah, I kind of like that. So I just added one big circle and did this nice kind of sun setting it, because I thought I could add the sunset colours if I wanted to, but I like the simplicity of the limited colour palette here. So I could take this tag out now because I've coloured that page. I'll just stick it at the front of the book for later. And those are all the pages I coloured from 50 Mythical Miniatures by Camilla Angelkova for the month of February. Looking forward to getting some more done in March. Then after that began my colour by number obsession, and as you can see from all the page flags I have put in here, I coloured a lot in this book. I was just loving it so much. I find them so relaxing to do. I will not show you them in any particular order, just the order I've got them flagged in the book. But I did Mirabelle here. She had a lot of fiddly little details on her, especially in the background, but she looks great. For all of these pages I do the black outlines in a black paint pen. I actually had to order some more this month because I was running out. And then for all of the colour I use water-based pens, mainly the Crayola Super Tips, and I sometimes supplement them with the Tombow Dual Brush pens or the Ohuhu Dual Brush pens, but almost always the Crayola Super Tips. So Mirabelle was really fun and colourful. Then I did these two, the Ugly Stepsisters from Cinderella. They turned out quite bold and fun actually. I like how they turned out with their colours. I did this double page spread of Pinocchio, which was a lot of brown for the background, but looks alright. I will turn it around and just kind of pan up for you, as it is a double page spread, which is why I love this book so much. It's because of all the double page spreads in it. But I think that turned out really well. Then, as it was February, I thought I would do this fairy, as I'd already coloured her, and this one I hadn't got round to yet. Like the colours of that one, and I used the same sort of greens and blues to match the opposite page as well. I did another double page spread, this Belle one, which I absolutely love, one of my favourites on the book, but I was really worried about this background because it uses a lot of kind of pastel yellow tones, and I wasn't sure if I had the exact right colours to match it. If I show you you see it's a lot more yellow, and I went for kind of more orangey tones, but this was the best match I had to do the background for that, but it looks absolutely lovely. Glad to have that one done. Next, I've got these Robin Hood characters. We've got Friar Tuck, and I cannot remember the names of the others. It's been a while since I've watched Robin Hood. But I was wanting to get some of these other pages done because I'd already coloured Pua and Hey Hey. So I wanted to get some of these second pages done on the opposite side, so it would fill the book out a little bit more, and then I can do the 2 pages at sort of the same time from now on. And then what's next? Another one that I did because the other page was coloured. This is Carl and Ellie. This is the last page I coloured for the month actually. They turned out pretty well. I often find the skin tones really hard to find a good colour match for. They always look too bright, but this one doesn't look too bad on camera. And then the last one in here is the 3 fairies from Sleeping Beauty. I loved colouring this page. It was really relaxing. Lots of bright, fun colours. Yeah, and turned out really well. So those are all the pages I coloured from Les Grands Classiques Tome 11. If you look at my tracker at the back, I've now done 44 pages. So this book is almost halfway complete. I think once it gets to 50%, I'll have to do a flip through. That is the first colour by number book I have. Then I have Love Stories. I just did 2 in this one. Did I? Yes, just 2. And it was these 2 at the front. I did Cinderella first. And I have to say this is probably the most fiddly, detailed line art I've ever had to do with these mice down here. You can see they're just super thin and detailed. But it turned out really well, and the actual colouring process was really fun. And then this one, the line art was a lot easier to do, but the colouring was so much harder. These flags are super fiddly to colour. The people in the backgrounds were super... It was very fiddly. And I don't know if it picks up on camera, but her dress has these like white swirl details on them. And so you have to colour around the white swirls, which took forever as well. But they do look really nice together, and I like doing the detailed pages, even if it does take a long time. And this one I actually did a mistake on. I don't know if you can see it, but I added a bit of paper from the back because I accidentally did a black outline. Because when I'm doing the black outlines, often when you see just a thin line, that's the outline, and I will often change it so it is black. Like for example with these 2 pages, the outlines were meant to be colours that more match the colours that they are. So like a darker blue for the dress, a sort of yellowy golden colour for her hair, and I just like to do them all black to make them stand out. But I did this bit black, so I went to the back, cut out a little strip, stuck it in and coloured over the top, and it worked pretty well actually. So that's a good tip if you ever colour the wrong bit. If you use paint markers, you don't have that problem so much because you can just go over the top. But as I use water-based pens, they don't cover over the top of the acrylic black paint pens. So that is 2 from Love Stories. Then I did 3 different pages in Family. The first one I did was this one, The Wolves. My dad picked this one out for me, so I coloured that one. I like to also do these downstairs whilst I'm watching TV, especially the black outlines. It's quite easy and relaxing to do. My grandma picked a random number and I coloured this page because I thought she said 86, but then when I checked back, it was actually 76. So I coloured this one, went to send a picture, and I was like, oh no, it's 76. So I also coloured 76, which was this Lion King one. And it was quite nice to do those 2 because this one was super cool toned, and then this was warm and bright. That was pretty quick and easy to colour actually. So those are all the colour by numbers I have from the month, if you were skipping ahead. Now is the point where I am getting back to my coloured pages. Starting with 50 Woodland Miniatures by Camina Angelkova. This is a project book with Mindy at Colouring with Cats Among Orchids and Jan at Aloha Lady. And the page we did was this one. I've called them the Loving Skunks. But when I was noting down all of my buddy colours, I was calling them the loving squirrels because I thought they were squirrels. Then I looked up some inspiration pages and saw someone coloured them black and white, and I was like, ah, they're skunks. Yeah, that makes sense, the stripe and the tail. But I often find with Camellia Angelcova books, the way you colour the animals changes what breed they are. Because often, like, a fox will say look like a wolf, or I think I've coloured one as like a red panda and someone else has coloured it like a wolf before, or depending on the colours you use changes what the animals look like. But when I was colouring this, I knew I wanted to include lots of pinks for Valentine's Day, and I really love this sort of peachiness of this. And I love this little bird as well. I thought I would do him a little blue bird and then tie the colour in with their blue eyes. Used Ohuhu alcohol markers for the whole page and just a bit of white paint pen for highlights, and that was it for this one. Nice and simple, and a great first one to get me back in the mood for colouring some other pages. I'll move mine across and show you Mindy and Jan's here. They both did a wonderful job, and I am really enjoying colouring in this book every month with both of you. We have picked the next page, which is this one, the Two Wolves Singing at the Moon. Super cute. So that is 50 Woodland Miniatures by Camellia Angelcova. Then I've got Matchstick Mouse, a big adventure colouring book by Morgan O'Brien. This is a project book with Nikki at Knick Knack Colours, Amy from Colouring with Amy, and Jo from Geordie Colours. And it was Amy's turn to pick this month, and she picked this one, the super cute koala hug page. I based mine with the Ohuhu alcohol markers and shaded over the top with Prismacolor pencils, and just kept it like that, nice and simple, quite a limited colour palette. I thought I would do a pink background for Valentine's Day, as we did this for February. And yeah, super cute, and they just look adorable together, don't they? I'll move mine across and show you everyone's here. I like how different they are. We've got a couple nighttime scenes, one kind of sunsetty looking one. Yeah, absolutely amazing. Always love colouring in this book with you ladies. And the next page we are doing, I picked out, is the Mardi Gras page. So that's going to be lots of bright fun colours. Looking forward to that one in Matchstick Mouse Adventure by Morgan O'Brien. Then I've got Colouring Heaven Pocket Edition Fairy Tales. These have illustrations by Selena Fennick. And this is a project book with Lil at Colouring with Lil. She has recently changed her name on Instagram. She was Poles Colouring. She's now colouring.with.lil. So I think that'll make it easier for making sure we say her name properly, because her name is Lil, not Pole. And this is the page we did for February. I absolutely love this page. Dorothy and Oz, or just the Wizard of Oz page as I was calling it. Based with Ohuhu alcohol markers, shaded over the top with Prismacolor pencils. I added this gingham pattern in as an homage to the dress that Judy Garland wore in Wizard of Oz. And the only other embellishment detail I added was a bit of Spectrum Noir clear glitter pen on top of the ruby slippers to make them look glittery, as I don't have a red gel pen. All I have is like a very dark pink. So this is good for layering over the top and still getting the colour shine through. I'll move mine across and show you Lil's here. She did an amazing job. Hers is super bright and colourful. Absolutely love it. And we are both absolutely loving colouring in this book. We've done, I think, 7 pages now. And isn't it just so fun to flip through and see all the bright, colourful pages? They're all quite different from each other. And yeah, we both can't wait to have this finished one day. She chose the next one, Beauty and the Beast. So looking forward to that one. It will be some different colours compared to the Wizard of Oz page that we just done. So there we go, that is the Fairy Tales Colouring Heaven Pocket Edition. Next I have the only page that I kind of coloured myself, or didn't have a buddy colour or anything, or a group buddy colour that I was colouring it for, and that is in New Therapy. It was getting right towards the end of the month, and I was like, I have this whip that I started of this wolf ride, where I had only done the background and that was it of the page, and I thought, I can't let this sit for another winter. I've got to get it finished. And I'm so glad I did, because this is probably my favourite of the month. I used Polychromos for the whole of the page, added lots of white paint pen on the trees, on the snow, flicking on the wolf to add some highlights to him, and then I used the Silver Signo gel pen on the moon and the stars, added lots of snow falling in the background, and I just love the simple colour palette of this. The last thing I coloured was the scarves because I wasn't sure what to do there, and I thought I would match a similar colour palette that I was using to highlight the snow here with these kind of periwinkle blues. I think it turned out really effective. I love the way the fur turned out on the wolf. I think that worked really well. It's probably the best fur I've ever coloured. And the bear looks super snuggly. And I did try and kind of create this sort of moonlight effect. I didn't decide to do it until I was colouring the bear, which was quite late, that I thought, oh, I could do like the moonshine. So I used the lightest cool grey sort of as the highlight colour on the edge of the sort of the wolf and the bear. I should have done it on the scarf as well, but as I said, I'm not the best at doing lighting effects. But I really love this page, definitely my favourite of the month and the most kind of colouring effort I put into it. So that was Noonar Therapy by Diane Dufour. The last project book that I coloured in for February was Lost and Found by RJ Hampson. This is with Dana at DabblerD on Instagram. And I chose the page, and the page I chose was... Where is it? Where is it? Here it is. Lost Kingdom. And when I saw this page, I knew I wanted to use lots of purples. Purple is my favourite colour. And I don't know what it is, but when I see little dragons like this, I always want to do them purple. And I kind of have to resist doing them purple every single time, because otherwise they'd all look the same. I thought I'd go purple, and then I chose the juniper green with a bit of the chrome oxide green from Polychromos, as I've been using Polychromos for this book entirely. No alcohol markers, which is quite unusual for me in a Amazon printed book. But I've just been really loving the kind of muted, antique-y, not perfect colouring style of the Polychromos on this, and how you get a bit of that texture of the paper coming through. And then the only other sort of embellishment I added to this page was the Silver Signo gel pen for the moon, the stars, and the bunch of keys that she's holding. And I just love the combination and the very limited colour palette of the green, purple, brown, and grey for the mountains. I will move mine across and show you Dana's beautiful page here. She also went for purples actually, which she coloured hers first, and I didn't even think... Well, I didn't even remember that she coloured hers with purples until I sent mine, and I was like, oh yeah, we both did purples. So absolutely loved that one. And the next page she chose for us is this one of Mr. Fogarty, Lost in the Woods. Really looking forward to that one, and looks to be quite a quick and simple page to colour, which isn't always a nice change. That is RJ Hampson, Lost and Found. And then the final page I have to show you is in A Million Puppies by Lulu Mayo. This was the only untouched book I managed to get coloured in this month, as I did have such a focus on my project books instead. And this was a buddy colour originally with Erica from Elm Colours, and then Joe from Geordie Colours saw that we were doing this and asked to join, and we said of course. And the page we did was this one at the very, very back, the Love Heart design. And I have a love-hate relationship with this page. It's kind of hate. I hate this bright pink dog in the middle. I picked out this colour palette with sort of varying shades of pinks and a green for a sort of like a accent colour, and it was going really well, and I was just basing it all with Tom Widgell brush pens and a couple of Crayola super tips, really enjoying it, just spreading the colours out throughout the page. Coloured this dog, looked back and went, oh gosh, what have I done? It's so bright. And I couldn't manage to sort of dull it down with the pencils. Yeah, I was frustrated with this page, but I pushed through, I finished it, it's done, it's a completed page. It's nice that it's at the back of the book so you don't naturally flip to it all that often. But I think apart from that pink dog, it does look quite nice, and it's not terrible. It's not a disaster. I've done much worse pages than this. It's just, it looks so kind of like neon and vivid. It's just odd. But hey ho. I used Artex pencils, by the way, to shade this, as they had some nice sort of sagey greens. They didn't have too great of a selection of pinks, but I made it work for the rest of it. I will move mine across and show you Erica and Joe's beautiful pages here. They did such an amazing job. We all used pinks, I think, because of the love heart design and the fact that it was Valentine's month. We all kind of had similar ideas in that sense, but they all look very different from each other, which is fun. So thank you to both of you for colouring in that book with me. And I finally have this book coloured in, and now the only one I have uncoloured is A Million Kittens, which I've just received. So that is great that I have been working on my Lulu May books. But that is everything for this month. As I said, not too many pages coloured, a whole lot of colour by number books, and even though I love my project books, they often aren't my favourite pages. So I will grab my favourite page for this month, and it is the Noonor Therapy Wolf Ride page. I love how it turned out. I think it looks amazing. Super proud with the fur texture on the wolf. And yeah, when I finished it, I was like, oh yeah, this is going to be my favourite. I think maybe because I colour in my project books every single month, they don't stand out to me as a favourite, even though I do love them. I'd say The Wizard of Oz would probably be my second favourite, because I just love the bright, fun colours of that. But there we go. That's everything for February. Let me know in the comments which page of mine that I coloured was your favourite. I'd love to hear. And thanks so much for watching. I will see you in the next video. Bye everyone.